Hello, wonderful friends. My name is Meg.
And I'm Mari.
And welcome back to Spine and Ink.
Welcome back. This week, we just have a fun, short little episode for you. We are going to be talking about, I don't know how to phrase this. If you like this show/movie, read this.
Yeah, we thought it'd be fun to give you some recommendations. I tried to venture out from things I usually recommend and shows or movies that I usually talk about, but it's just an easy way to get some good recommendations going. So
yeah.
I
know you have a few more than I do. This one was hard for me. This one was really hard. I feel like all of the books that I love are their own thing. All the movies and shows I love are their own thing, you know? And I love them all for different reasons. So it was very hard, but I have some. So we'll start with you and then just go back and forth.
Perfect. Sounds great. So my first one I'm starting off with is hot topic right now. But if you like watching White Lotus, and this is specifically after this most recent season, is why I picked this book. And it's, if you've watched the show, also specifically because of that group of girlfriends. I don't want to say too much because I don't want to spoil anything if you haven't watched it. So if you like that, you should read Conversations with Friends by Sally Rooney. I think that the dialogue and the undertones of, I don't know, they're not saying what they mean kind of thing, really fits with Conversations with Friends. And I think that the writing style of that show is kind of similar to her writing style in some ways, but yeah, could be wrong, but that's my suggestion.
All right.
Yeah.
I haven't watched White Lotus or read that book, so I will take your word for it.
I want to try it again because it wasn't my favorite book, but I also think I just read it at kind of a bad time. That's more of fall read, and a lot of Sally Rooney's writing is just very slice of life. Not much happens really. There's a lot of character development and stuff. And so I read it during the summer, and I was really just in my rom-com mood, and I tried to read it, and I was like, I just don't like this. But I think I would like it more now. So, yeah.
All right. Noted.
I would recommend reading Normal People first, though.
I haven't read any Sally Rooney, but I know Normal People is a big one.
It's so good.
And I want to watch the show, so I gotta read it.
The show is devastating. I mean, all of it's devastating. It's just devastating.
Real.
Yeah.
Okay.
Your turn.
Alrighty. My first one I'm going to start with, this is just a given. I think we've already mentioned this on the podcast, but if you like New Girl, like we do, and you haven't read Funny Story by Emily Henry, you need to go read Funny Story. Because Miles is just so Nick Miller coded, it's ridiculous. Bartender, their personalities are very similar. There was a couple of times that I was reading the book and he would do or say something, and I was like, that is Nick Miller. That is Nick Miller. And I feel like just the general vibe of the story, the humor is very similar. I think that they just fit really well. I loved both of them, so I think I can say that, with a lot to back it up. But they're very similar, and I love New Girl. I love that show so much. And, oh my gosh, what's her name? The female main character. Why am I blanking on her name?
Oh, I can't think of it either.
She's a librarian.
Yes.
She's a children's librarian.
Oh, yeah.
Very Jessica Day. So it's just
think about that.
Very much their relationship.
Yeah.
I don't know why I can't remember her name.
I can't remember it either.
It's been a while since I read the book. I loved it. I just can't remember her name.
No, I can't remember it either. I still really liked it. I'm really bad with character names.
Miles I remember just because we talk about it
especially in romance books. I'll remember every character name in a fantasy.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Romance books, they all kind of bleed together.
Yeah. I cannot remember her name, but very, very similar to Nick and Jess. So, yeah.
This one is super niche.
Okay.
Let me make sure I know the author's name. really quick. Yes. Okay, so if you liked We Live in Time, the movie, Florence Pugh,
Andrew
Garfield, it was pretty good. Wasn't like, again, it wasn't necessarily my favorite. Why did I pick things that aren't necessarily my favorites? But they were like easy comparisons. That movie, though, is very, very sad, rip your heart out kind of movie.
Yeah.
I think that you should give Whale Song by Cheryl K. Tardif a try. I read the school edition of this book when I was really young. I remember Mom got it for me on Kindle when I had my first Kindle. And it was the school edition. She was like, I don't know, I just think you might like it. And it devastated me. Like, devastated me. And it lives in my brain forever, but I loved it. Like, I loved that book so much. But it has, you know, if you've seen We Live in Time, even if you haven't, I think it's pretty, like, apparent in the trailers, but it has the whole cancer thing in there.
The whole cancer thing.
In both. And it's definitely about family dynamics, and it does follow the perspective of like a very young girl, so it is kind of young adult a little bit in that way, but yeah, it's like her experiences with grief and friendship and her family. So I think that's, yeah. Whale Song by Cheryl K. Tardif, I think is how you... Yeah. It's really good, though. It's one that I really do want to read again, and I want to read not the school edition. I want to read the real book. But
Fair enough.
I don't know what genre it's considered. Fiction, young adults, mystery thriller? Interesting. Well... You know, it's been a while, but I think that's it's a really good one.
Interesting. All right. Noted. Let's see here. Which one do I want to talk about next? Ooh, okay. So a movie that was real popular when it came out, brought back rom-coms, I feel like. I loved it. If you liked Anyone But You with Glenn Powell and Sydney Sweeney, then I think you should read The Honeymooners. Because I feel like...
Have I read The Honeymooners?
I think you did, by Christina Lauren.
Yes.
I haven't read that book in a really long time. No, but I really liked it when I read it.
That's so true, yeah.
And I felt like that was a very easy comparison. Similar vibes, you know, they go on... So, The Honeymooners, super funny. They're going on a honeymoon that's not theirs. And they do not like each other in the beginning of that book. Enemies to lovers.
Yeah.
And Anyone But You kind of starts that way. Anyone But You is second chance, but it's not really like they had like a relationship the first time. It was like a failed one night stand kind of situation.
Yeah, and then they hate each other.
And then they like hate each other because it wasn't miscommunication, but just like misinterpretation. But I actually really liked that movie. I loved it. And I feel like it had like very similar vibes to The Honeymooners, very similar like plot lines. I know it's not like a honeymoon in Anyone But You, but same vibe.
If you liked Anyone But You, you should read Much Ado About Nothing. Because that's what it's based off of.
Shakespeare.
That's what it's based off of.
I forgot about that. Yeah. I knew that, but I forgot.
No, but that's a really good comparison. Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. I was like, I feel like these are very similar.
Yeah.
And I heard someone say it, and I was like, I so agree with that. And being that I watched the movie and really liked it, and I really liked that book, I was like, I think I could say that one. And, you know, haven't enough to back it up, but anything by Christina Lauren, I just love. And I feel like that one specifically just matches that movie really well. But if you liked that movie, I say, like, honestly, really delve into Christina Lauren. That's a good place to start. That was the first Christina Lauren book I read. But if you like that one...
I think that was the first one I read, too. Yeah.
I'm okay. Hell yeah. Right.
Okay, so my next one, if you watched it was like an Oscar-nominated movie 2 years ago. Not this past Oscars, but the year before. Anatomy of a Fall which was,
Who was in that?
oh, I can't remember, but
There was someone in it that I'm like...
plot, there's a large court case about a lady that has fallen from her balcony, and they think that, or maybe her husband. No, it's she.
I don't know. I didn't watch it.
I'm like blanking. Anyway, someone has fallen from a balcony, and their spouse is being pinned for the murder, basically, and their only witness is their blind son.
Oh.
So, that's like tough. But it deals a lot in like the courtroom. I would recommend, if you liked that, giving Mad Honey by Jodi Picoult a try. Mad Honey is about a mom and her son, and it's just the two of them. His girlfriend is murdered, so they think it's him, and so a lot of the book is like about them in court.
Mm-hmm.
But it has very similar situations of like they're just they're choosing the easiest person to pin the blame on, and you never really know throughout the whole thing. And so that was a very like politically active book, Mad Honey was.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just really good. I really, really, really enjoyed that one. So
Gosh, you picked a bunch of stuff that I've like never seen and never read. So I'm just like, okay, sure.
I tried to venture out.
Yeah, no, you did.
Yeah.
You did. These are all really good ones.
Thank you.
Damn.
Turn.
Okay. I'm kind of going out of order here because I'm like...
Yeah, I've been going a little out of order as well.
Okay, cool. Most of mine are rom-coms that if you like that, read this book. Another one, if you like or liked The Princess Diaries, then you should read Twisted Games. I think that the Twisted series, I like.
That
Twisted Games. I love that book. I love that book by Anna Huang. I honestly think like the first Twisted book is my least favorite out of all of them. If you're gonna read any of them, I don't think you have to read them in order. Like, I think you could get away with reading Twisted Games without reading Twisted Love. And it was my favorite in the series. It was so good. It's a princess and her bodyguard, and he's awesome. He's awesome. And it's so good. It's, definitely not as, like, light and, like, nostalgic as Princess Diaries, but it's still similar theme. And if you like the royalty aspect, I think that one's really good. But it's just more, like, romantic. But the second Princess Diaries, you guys.
Yeah.
So good. So good. So I just feel like if you like the Princess Diaries, you would like that book. They don't necessarily like follow the same plot or anything, but I still think you'd like it. So yeah. So good.
No, that is a good one too, yeah.
You haven't even read Twisted Games yet.
No, but I know what it's about. So like I know that that's a good comparison.
It's so good.
Okay, I have a really unhinged one. If you like the reality TV show The Perfect Match, which is, have you watched The Perfect Match? They put them all in there and they like have the test scores. That's like their perfect match. Then you should read True Love Experiment.
That's so true.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good one.
If you like the Perfect Match reality TV, then you should read The True Love Experiment, also by Christina Lauren.
Yeah. Honestly, if you like any like reality TV, like
that's
romantic
like
reality
the best
TV
comparison because
but that
they
one's
have
a really
the
good
exact
comparison.
Same like aspects to them.
Yeah.
But yeah, reality TV. If you like reality TV, like romance-based reality TV, like those romance game shows, like Love is Blind and Perfect Match and
The Bachelor,
Bachelorette, that kind of stuff, you would love True Love Experiment. If you like other reality TV, I've heard you should read Magnolia Parks.
Yeah.
But anyways, I digress. But yeah, Perfect Match,
a good
True
one.
Love Experiment.
That's a really good one.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. My next one, a movie that I love so much. If you like the movie Notting Hill, which you should, then you should read When in Rome by Sarah Adams. That one is...
I haven't read that one.
It's really cute. I have it. You can borrow it.
Okay.
I mean, it wasn't like my favorite thing I've ever read, but it was super cute. I really liked it. Pop star. Guy from Small Town.
Okay, yeah. Yeah.
Similar themes. Love his family. One of his sisters is the FMC in like the book that comes after it, and that one's a really good book. I loved that one. It was so cute and so sweet. And it's her bodyguard, like her security guy. And then his sister. It's so good. There's like those two books are just, they're so good. When in Rome is like such a fun, sweet rom-com that I feel like it just very much matches Notting Hill in that vibe, but also just kind of the general concept. I think it's also just like lighthearted. It's not smutty or anything crazy from what I remember. It's just sweet and cute. And the setting is really cute. And I really liked it. And I love Notting Hill. Like on Toddlers and Tiaras when they're like... One of our friends does that all the time and it's so funny. But yeah. I think those are good together.
Yeah, those are good. That's good. Okay. If you like the movie The Longest Ride... Have you ever watched The Longest Ride?
Mm-mm.
Girl!
You picked so many things that I've never seen or never read.
We are watching The Longest Ride because that movie slaps. It slaps. It absolutely hits.
Okay.
If you like The Longest Ride, you need to read The Things We Leave Unfinished. Yeah, by Rebecca Yarros. So if you've watched The Longest Ride, and if you haven't, again, not a spoiler, but it does follow kind of a dual timeline.
Oh,
and one is being read to you through letters.
Oh my gosh! Okay.
And it's like an older man, and he's reading his life story basically. Oh. And then there's the current romantic timeline, and then they do converge at some point in the end. So
very similar.
Yes, very, very, very similar.
Do you want to give like a little tidbit of what The Things We Leave Unfinished?
Yeah, The Things We Leave Unfinished. One current day romantic timeline between author and editor. Second timeline is World War II, and we are getting the second timeline through the current the current timeline.
I don't think she's an editor. I think it's just because it was her great grandma that she's involved.
Oh yeah, no, he's the writer.
Yeah, he's the writer, and she's
kind of editing it. Because
sort of,
it's
kind of, yeah.
Her grandmother. Anyways, but her grandmother's manuscript is the dual timeline of her personal, like, biography.
Yeah, so
memoir.
Her great grandma was a romance writer, and this was like her last book that she had like started, and then she died. And so this author comes in, Noah, and meets her great granddaughter and is like, I'm here to finish this book, like this last book, and publish it. And we find out that the book is like her life and story. Romance with Jameson.
So you get, dual timeline, two separate love stories, and they are interconnected in a lot of ways. So yeah, if you've watched The Longest Ride, you'll understand it. That one's so good. We have to watch The Longest Ride. I love that movie. So, yeah.
That sounds really good. And that's like I've said almost every episode. My favorite book ever.
Earlier too. So, I was earlier like looking up when I guess it was 2015. I thought it was older than that.
Okay, a little bit different. If you ever watched and enjoyed the show Once Upon a Time, which I loved. We both loved when we were younger. I would love to go back and rewatch it.
I'm sure it's kind of cringe.
I think it's so cringy, but like I would love to go back and rewatch it. Just because I feel like it's like nostalgic.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
Us. I don't think I would like seriously watch it, but maybe I could get through like the first season.
Yeah.
And just be like, oh. But if you liked and enjoyed that series, you should read the adult smutty version. What's this series called? It's Hooked.
Hooked is the first book.
Hooked is the first book.
Start with that one.
Isn't it like Never After? Isn't that the name of the series?
I think.
It's all retellings.
Emily McIntyre.
Emily McIntyre. It's like adult retellings of like Disney fairy tales. The first one is Peter Pan.
Never After.
Never After. Yeah. Okay, so the Never After series. The first one is like Peter Pan, Captain Hook, Wendy retelling. It's all like dark and it's like dark romance.
Second one's Lion King.
Yes. The
third one is Aladdin, I believe.
Okay.
And then one of them is The Little Mermaid.
I was gonna say, isn't that the most recent one?
I think that might be the most recent one.
There's one we're missing though.
I don't remember all of them. I can't think of it. But I've talked about her before on Hooked, here that I'm a big fan.
Yeah. I can't think of all of them. But very, very similar concept. So just read the series. Even just read the first one. See if you like it. But, I mean, very similar if you like that kind of retelling. And now you kind of want to relive some of those stories in a fun adult dark romance smutty way. Then there you go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those are really fun. I really like those. Okay. If you liked Saltburn, you should read You Shouldn't Have Come Here by Geneva Rose.
Interesting.
Which I've talked about that book before. My reactions to it are on our TikTok. It's not a perfect comparison, but it does have the very unsettling, like you think something bad is always going to happen to the main character kind of feeling. And there's a large twist. So, yeah, I think
interesting.
If you liked Saltburn, you would probably really enjoy that book. You Shouldn't Have Come Here, though. It is, well, I guess if you liked Saltburn, you're kind of a freak. And there is some freaky stuff in You Shouldn't Have Come Here. So, yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. Saltburn's crazy.
Just a warning. There's some freaky stuff, but, like, if you like that movie, you're probably a freak. So, you'll be fine.
Real.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good one. Okay, which ones have I not done? You've been smart. You've been, like, deleting them as you go. Let's see. I'm trying to not do, like, all romance in a row. Ooh, okay. This one is, like, another rom-com. But, well, I guess it's not a rom-com. But if you like the movie, love Rosie. Clapping. I watched it a long, long time ago, but similar, like, story structure. You should read People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry. Yes. I have, a couple Emily Henrys in here. But I love that book. Second Chance, sort of, kind of, but also, like, was never really, like, followed through, so it's not quite, like, I don't know. Second Chance, but more friends to lovers.
I think it is friends. I would say friends
to lovers more than like Second Chance.
Love Rosie is very much the same. It's like teeters on Second Chance, but it's more just like friends to lovers.
Yeah. And lots of jumping around in like timeline. Love Rosie, like there are big chunks of time that are like skipped and that kind of thing. And People We Meet on Vacation goes back and forth. It's dual timeline, but every time you go back, it's still like 10 years ago, 5 years ago, like 3 years ago, like that kind of thing. So it's not all linear either. So if you like that kind of storytelling, you should definitely read it. I think it flows very nicely. Again, it's Emily Henry. She can do no wrong. So I think that all of it was just like put together so nicely, and you get to know them and their relationship and all that through like revisiting their past. And it's just so good. I love that book.
Yeah.
So I think those two. Rosie. Yeah, and Love Rosie was so good when I watched it. I remember loving it. It's been a while.
I've watched that movie so many times. Too many times to count. Yeah, it's a great one.
But I also just love Lily Collins and Sam Claflin.
Me too.
I was like, can't really go wrong.
Literally can't go wrong.
So yeah, highly recommend.
Okay. This one is a little bit strange, but it just makes sense to me. So, forewarning, this book is not a romance book. So that is not the comparison being made between this movie and this book. It's not a romance. But if you liked Charlie St. Cloud, you should try reading We Were Liars. And who's the freaking author? I can't remember. Hold on.
Real.
E. Lockhart. Yeah. There is... I don't want to spoil too much. It's really tough.
Yeah, it's tough to talk about it and not spoil the movie or the book.
Yeah, I can't spoil the movie and I can't spoil the book. But if you've watched the movie and you know what happens, that's why you should read the book. I don't know. Like the twist in that movie and the twist in the book are extremely similar. And like I said, We Were Liars is not a romance, so there's not that like subplot in there at all. And it is young adult, I believe. Yes, it is young adult. And it's more like young adult mystery. But I was very shocked at the end. And it felt very similar to how I felt at the end of Charlie St. Cloud.
All right.
So
that makes sense.
Yeah. That movie and that book both are just things that like you gotta just watch or you gotta just read it because I can't say too much.
Yeah, you really can't say much about either one without spoiling it. That movie's so good. So sad.
So sad.
But so good.
So sad.
Zac Efron. Really, really good movie. I haven't watched that movie in a long time either. Maybe if I feel like it, I'll watch it. I have to be in a mood. Okay, my last one is actually regarding our book club book. So, if you liked Heathers with Winona Ryder or Midsummer, if you like both of them, very different, very, very different. But if you like kind of the like clicky, campy vibe of Heathers, but the like surreal horror of Midsummer, you should read Bunny by Mona Awad, our book club book,
which we'll be talking about next week.
Yes, that book is crazy and weird and so good. I was not ready for it to be that much horror, so it is pretty heavy on like the gory horror side, but similar like start to the plot. Similar concept to Heathers. You have this clique of girls that call each other Bunny. They're the bunnies that welcome in this new girl, Veronica, and bring her in, and things go all over the place and get super crazy and wild.
Yeah, and it is very surreal horror.
Yeah.
So just be prepared that there is like gore.
Yeah. But very similar to Heathers. Also set in like a New England college, so a little bit of like secret history. I wouldn't say like Dead Poet Society, but just like the environment kind of vibe in there, which is really fun too. And they're all writing poetry.
Yeah, they're
writing students, like fiction and poetry students. So there's a lot about writing and all these workshops that they do. So the school setting does very much come into play, but good and felt very Heathers when you're reading it.
It's crazy to say fun, but it like was a fun read. Like I had a fun time.
Yeah, crazy to say that, but it is really fun to read and lots of twists and turns and all that good stuff. So yeah.
My last one, which I have made this comparison before, I think, now that I'm like looking at it, but if you like When Harry Met Sally, which is my favorite movie of all time, if you love that movie, you should read You Again. And again, why can I not think of the author?
That one, I haven't even read it. I don't know why I would know, but I've seen it like all over.
You...
I cannot remember. I'm horrible with author names.
Kate
Goldbeck.
Kate Goldbeck.
I was like, it starts with a K or a B.
Kate Goldbeck.
It's a K.
It is literally like a kind of a direct comparison, and I think it is probably on the cover that it's like, if you like this book, you should read, or like this movie, you should read this book.
Yeah.
But it definitely is more. Sorry, our cat's just like sprinting. It definitely is more enemies to lovers.
Okay.
Than friends to lovers. Like, there is a bit of enemies to lovers in there. Mm-hmm. So that's, like a fun little twist. But then it becomes, enemies to friends to lovers debut romance is what it says here. So, yeah, so it's fun. But it is very, very, very much like When Harry Met Sally. And I really liked it. The characters are very, very funny. And they are very contemporary.
Mm-hmm.
Like, their personalities are very 21st century, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Definitely not millennial.
Right.
I
was like...
Not Emily Henry millennial type, but very...
We let it slide. We let it slide. But yeah. I think I know what you mean.
Yeah. So, super fun. Also, I believe set in New York, if I'm remembering correctly. So, very much When Harry Met Sally. Super fun. And that's my last one.
I like it.
Yeah.
All right.
I know this one was like a little tough to come up with, but it was fun.
Yeah, it was really fun.
And I liked hearing yours.
I liked hearing yours, man. Those were like a lot of things that I've never watched and or read. So, good to know. It was helpful when you said books that I had read. I was like, oh, then I need to watch that movie.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, it goes both ways.
Yeah.
I think it totally goes both ways.
If those are books that you liked and you haven't like watched that movie or show, then
definitely
go check it out.
Mm-hmm. You definitely should. So, that is all we have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. If you have more movies, TV shows that you would like to recommend that compare to a book, please let us know in the comments.
Please
love
do.
To know. And
and next week we're covering our book club book, Bunny, that I mentioned. And we're going to give our quick little review in the beginning, spoiler free. Then we'll go into our big review and analysis, ask some questions, kind of just yap about it. So if you haven't finished it yet, or if you haven't read it yet, go read it before next week. Mm-hmm. Come back and join us. Yeah. We will be here.
And I have made us a Fable book club.
Yes.
On Fable. So if you have not joined already, I will link it in the description. And you should please join, because we will be continuing that throughout all of our book clubs so that we can all chat about it. And we'll be putting some thoughts in there and stuff. So definitely join. It's a great way to make friends. And then also, follow us on TikTok and Instagram at spineandink_pod. We post other fun little stuff on there. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us next week.
Perfect. I think that's everything.
Perfect.
Alrighty. We'll see you next week. Bye. Bye.